Hi, everybody. And thank you one more time for checking us out at Who Doesn't Want to Talk. No, let's not talk about the husband. Just wanted to get that right.
Oh, my God. Hilarious.
Well, it is what it is, darling. So,
you got a haircut today.
I did. I got a haircut today.
But only a half.
Well, it took half the amount of time. Okay. So, Jonathan Anton, I love him.
We love him. One of the masters.
He's been cutting my hair for 30 years. He's the only person who's ever figured it out.
He really gives one of the greatest haircuts
ever. And he's a master. He's an artist.
Jonathan Anton at the Sally Hirschberger Salon.
So
if you want to go see him, he's the nicest guy.
And he'll also cut your hair. He's a genius. But over 30 years of him cutting my hair, he's figured out how to do it just perfectly in 4.5 hours.
No one on this planet is going to believe that.
No,
They're
takes
going to
him.
be like, what?
Normally, if we do a normal Jonathan cut, he'll come over at 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's pretty remarkable.
Like 4:30 maybe, 4:30 be
done. No, not that
4.
long.
Sometimes 4.5 hours. Yeah, sometimes. Today he did it in 2 hours because I had an appointment that I had to get to at 1. And I said, Jonathan, whatever you do, I got to be out of here at 1:45. I got to be in my car out of here at 1:45. Oh, no problem. That's not a problem. Nope, we can do that. No problem. We get to 12:30, right? And he's still got at least an hour to go.
Oh, shit.
And he's got 15. I said, you've got 11 minutes to finish cut. He's like, trying to cut it. And he'll go in and if there's one hair, just one hair,
I know.
He'll spend like 10 minutes trying to find the one hair and just
miraculous.
Cut it just right.
And it's a great haircut. But I could tell when I first saw you, I was like, he didn't cut it as short as he normally does because I don't think he had the time.
He didn't have the time. No, he owes me 2 hours.
Yeah, wow.
2 hours.
I think you should be happy that you got out of there in 2 hours.
4.5 hours is normally what I have to put for a haircut. I got to say, okay, the day is shot completely.
But he gives you such a magnificent haircut. You don't have to get your haircut as often as most people.
That's true.
Also.
I only get it cut a couple times a year.
Yeah,
so.
like it lasts.
Yeah, because it grows out beautifully.
Yeah.
From this, it'll grow out.
And I make you go because nobody can give you a haircut like that, really. It's just the way it has to be. So you just have to suck it up and do it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he did a great job today.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
I got a new haircut. You got a new hat.
I got a new hat.
Yeah. What does it say? Don't hustle? Don't hustle?
Don't hustle the hustler.
The hustler.
Don't hustle the hustler.
Okay. So that's implying that you're a hustler, I guess, right?
I implied that myself. Do you not remember this saying from the show?
Of course I remember the saying for the show, but, normally we don't give ourselves nicknames and call ourselves different things. You calling yourself a hustler?
I wasn't really calling myself a nickname, but in the housewife world of, interviews, it came out of my mouth, and then it worked.
That's such a pretty mouth it is.
It was a tagline, too. It was one of my...
Was Don't Hustle a Hustler was a tagline?
It was my tagline of the year. Yeah.
For the last time you did it?
No, but in the beginning, somewhere in the beginning, it was something about don't hustle the hustler. I can't even remember
that's right. You guys would have to figure out your taglines. They would come to you and they would say, okay, it's time to figure out your tagline.
Yeah, they'd bring you like 20 of them and they all sucked.
They're all terrible and really, really bad.
They're all so bad that I just started to come up with my own.
Yeah.
I think one of my best ones was, I don't have to buy it because I already own it. It's a good one.
Oh.
Would you like to hear your others?
Yeah. Oh, let's hear the other taglines.
The secret to life, dance like everyone is watching.
See, I didn't like that one. They kind of forced me to do that one, but I did it anyway.
In the game of life, it's Rinna takes all.
That was a good one.
My lips are legendary, and they will never gloss over the truth.
That was okay. Not great.
My advice to you, don't hustle the hustler.
That's it. My advice to you, don't hustle the hustler.
That was like season 5.
One of the best ones.
Oh.
You've heard a lot about me, but it's only true when it comes from my lips.
That was season 5. Mm-hmm. That was my first season.
My lips were made for talking, and that's just what they'll do.
That was another good one.
Yeah.
My lips were made for talking, and that's just what they'll do. That was a great one.
And the last one, I don't have to buy it because I already own it.
I think that's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's it, and that happens to be very true, because you just were saying to me yesterday that you've been going shopping in your closet, and you already own it. Right.
I
You
do.
don't have to go shopping because
Not
you
really.
already own it.
Listen, at this point, and now I think you're finally understanding it. When I was on Melrose Place and I first came into money, now remember, I grew up, shopping was our sport. Go back to that. In my family, shopping was a sport. Much like going to golf, going to bowl, going to watch a football game, we went shopping. So when I was on Melrose Place and I came into some money for the first time in my life, I started to buy some things. And after you bought me the Alaya dress and that
Because
Versace
it was my
dress,
fault. I created the monster.
I'd like to
right?
put it
Okay.
on
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so that you have to take a little responsibility.
Well, I mean, I'm
I
very
do.
proud of my taste back then. I put you in some beautiful clothing,
did.
and you looked fantastic. Little did I know, I was creating a freaking monster.
You just were opening the window. It was already there. You just gave it a crack. You cracked it open.
I
and
cracked
she
it
just
open
went,
with
the air
Alaya?
just went whoosh right in the room. And so during that Melrose time, I bought quite a bit of Prada. Prada was, new and fabulous to me. And I saved it all, of course. And recently, you were in the garage and you opened up one of the cupboards and you were
that's right.
like, what is this stuff? Can we save it, or are we
I
saving it?
wanted
or
to
we
throw
throwing
it away because it was in my camping.
It's in your camping.
In my camping
thing.
closet with my camping stuff.
Well, it
I go,
turns
what the
out-
fuck is that? In my camping closet.
It turns out there were three really great pairs of Prada pants that were from the 90s that I took to the dry cleaner, fixed up, and I can wear. Like I bought
So
some,
you don't have to buy any pants,
I bought some really good stuff back then.
and you got it still.
I have a lot of good stuff.
You
I've
don't
got
have
the
to buy
cashmere
anything.
sweaters. I have a lot of
You
good
already
stuff.
own it. That was the best tagline you've ever had.
But wait,
You don't have to buy anything because you already own it. I'm there with you 100%.
Fashion changes 4 times a year. There are 4.
Which means that after a few years, everything comes back again. So you've got stuff that goes back 30 years, which means you're covered for every change that takes place over the next 30
Nice
years.
try, Harry. Nice try.
It's true. It's because
New
it's all a
things come
revolving
out
thing.
and you need new things. That's
No,
how
but
the business
but
works.
What's new is old again. What's old is new again.
I have plenty of that. I have plenty of that.
You've
but
got enough stuff forever.
you got to sprinkle in a few new things every now and again.
Says who?
Me
Oh.
and consumerism. Like the world will die if you don't have consumers.
It is very true that the entire capitalist system in the United States is dependent upon you thinking that you need to buy something to feel better about yourself
and
because
it
you don't
works
feel good
like
about
a
yourself.
charm
Only
for
for the
5
moment.
minutes.
For
It
5 minutes.
works.
For 5 minutes. The moment that you press the button and you buy the thing,
it's so
you
satisfying.
go, a little dopamine goes into your brain. You go, oh, I feel better now. I just bought that pair of
isn't
pants,
that better
right?
than like going to get a hooker or some heroin? Yeah.
I just never made that connection. That
You
maybe
should.
you would, instead of buying pants, you'd be going for a hooker or heroin.
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
all a dopamine receptor hit. So wouldn't you rather have me buy something than go like shoot heroin in my arm
It
or
depends
something?
upon what you're buying. I mean, heroin's cheap, right? You can get heroin.
Depends on once you become a heroin addict, though, you sell everything because you need money, and then you start to have to sell
and
your body.
you'll be a
and-
great heroin addict because you've got so much stuff to sell. I mean, you've got a whole like
that's true.
supermarket. You have an entire you have Macy's in your closet. You do. You've got Bloomingdale's
He's not
right
wrong.
there.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay.
So-
But the good news is I can go back to it. I saved a lot of it. So I now am going back to it. Like Daniel Brown has said, my closet is sometimes better to pull shoes from than a showroom.
I get it. I'm right there with Daniel Brown, 100%.
I'm proud about that.
Yeah, you don't ever have to shop again for the rest of your life. Seriously, you're done.
I'm not going to go with that at all because I like fashion. And sometimes I need a new pair of jeans or
you
a
could
new pair of shoes.
You
a
could
little
get really creative, and because I know that you've got at least 300 or 400 pairs of jeans, so you could figure out how to take those jeans and like take the seam,
Cut them
undo the
and-
seams, and like you could make a whole new line with the amount of denim that you have in our home. You could make an entire line of
Not
jeans.
wrong. I just got rid of at least 20 pair. I gave them all to Lorena rather than taking them to sell somewhere, I just gave them to Lorena and said,
And now she's got 20 pair of jeans. You go, what the fuck am I going to do with these?
I say, give them to your daughter, give them to whomever, pass them along. I don't make her take them. I just say, if you want them, here they are.
Yeah, and she'll go out and she'll sell them.
Well, she can sell them.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. So I feel like I'm being generous, and maybe I am sometimes, and maybe I'm lazy sometimes too. I don't know.
Which do you think is more appropriate, the laziness or the
I
generosity?
think it's the generosity.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I think that I do come from a generous spirit,
Okay.
but I can be very selfish because I'm an only child. I can be totally selfish.
Now, are only children selfish? Is that
Because
something
they
that,
never had to share with anybody. So we don't know how to share necessarily because we never really were taught because we didn't have to.
And also, I was thinking about this today, because we have two daughters who are best friends right now. And
Right
they
now
seem
they
to be
are.
going through a best friend moment. And I had a brother that I was never friends with, never
That's so
one
sad to
point in
me.
my life. You were an only child, and you never
sad
had the
that
opportunity
never
to
had-
have a friend like that. But Amelia sent you a beautiful saying about how you're her best friend and stuff like that, and that's within the family.
Sweet.
It's not often that siblings get along so well that they're their best friend forever or whatever. But you didn't grow up with a sibling, and I didn't grow up with a sibling, even though I had one. And
I have a half sister. So if anyone's going, oh, she has a sister,
But you
she's
weren't.
lying.
But you were never
But I
close
never
to
lived
her.
with her.
Yeah.
We never lived together.
And that's the thing is, if you have somebody, either a friend or a family member that you can be as close to as you are with Amelia, it's, that's an amazing gift to have that in your life. I don't think I have anybody except you that I know well enough in my life where I could say, you're my best friend and I can say whatever I need to say in front of you and I'm going to be okay. You're not going to run for the hills by finding out some secret about me. Well, maybe you will. I don't know.
I haven't so far.
I've got fungus on my big toe.
That I do know.
And you're still sleeping with
I
me
have
at night.
fungus on my big toe too.
So maybe that's why
But my fungus is in a good place right now. I've got it way down. How about you?
You can have fungus can be in a good place?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I went to have my nails done the other day, and the nail lady said, oh, your nails look great. I hadn't seen her for a while. She said, oh, they're in really good shape. I was like, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Linda?
This was Ton.
Oh, Ton. Okay.
Ton and Linda do my feet
Oh.
because I have ingrowns. And if I have anybody else do them,
Yeah, I've heard this story before.
it's
So
nightmare.
anyway.
Linda or Ton, and Ton said, oh, I hadn't seen her in a while. She was like, oh my God, your toenails look great. I felt good about it because they were gnarly at a time.
Well, it's one thing that we know that we still love each other even though we're fungoid.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. There have been some breakups over the last week that just are so sad to me because, you get to a point in your marriage. We're at it right now, 28 years we've been married?
Well, long enough, and we've raised
28,
two
yeah.
kids, and the kids are gone, and we've got dogs, and we've got a bigger house
But
than we
it
need.
seems that, some of our friends and some people we know, at this point, they decide to divorce. They split. And I just read Lori Loughlin and Massimo are separated, allegedly. And, they had that whole college scandal issue. They both went to prison for a minute. And they
Did
didn't
they
make
both
it
go to
through.
prison?
They both went to prison.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they weren't able to get through it. And then Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban,
That's really happening?
yeah.
Oh.
That one is out in the press for sure.
Well, that's too bad.
And
'cause
it's so sad because you're like, it's such a fine line. It could easily go south.
I've never
quick.
understood why Nicole always needed to tower over her men.
Well, she's tall.
But she always towered over Tom, and she always towered over
Maybe
Keith.
that was a sex thing. They liked it.
I don't know.
Maybe it
but
was like a thing.
I always
And
thought
she
it was
did it
odd.
because they liked it.
Maybe both of them said, I would really like you to be 6 inches taller than me when we go out tonight. It would really make me feel a lot better when we're on the red
don't know.
carpet.
Maybe it's a
and I have
kinky
to
sex
look up
thing.
at you. I mean, I suppose. I mean, it could be a kinky thing that they had going on.
I don't know.
I mean, I like Nicole a lot. I met her before I met her in Australia when she had just been hired to do Dead Calm.
So she hadn't even done
She
Dead
hadn't
Calm.
done it yet, no. But Philip Noyce, who directed Dead Calm, introduced me to her and said she's going to be a big star in America. So
Well, he was right.
He was right, yeah.
Huge star.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody works as much as Nicole Kidman.
No, she is a hustler.
But she also lost her mother recently.
Uh-oh.
And I think, it's a very difficult, that period of grief when you lose your mother.
I remember that you were very grief-stricken when you lost
Really
your mother.
tough.
I was not when I lost my mother, just because she and I never really got along that much. So get well.
Well, we've been talking about that lately because, I mean, in my therapy right now, I'm talking about, my growing up and parenting and all kinds of things. And we all tend to, I think, have to self-parent ourselves at some point.
Oh, of course.
Because our parents only knew what they knew. And certainly when we grew up, I mean, if you talk about your mom and what they went through, it wasn't real easy for them to be present because they had a lot of substances in their body.
They had substances, and they also, this was back before therapy was a thing. They were married in the
nobody
late
went
40s.
to therapy then.
Yeah, and you didn't go to and for example, if a candidate for president, if it was discovered that they had ever had therapy, immediately they were not a candidate.
That's
anymore.
right.
You couldn't have.
Right. Is that
have
still
had,
the case? Do you think?
well, I mean, the people who are president now, you can
They
do
need
whatever
it.
the fuck you want.
They're not in therapy and never have been.
No.
Yes, I said it.
Yeah,
Don't even know what it is.
You can kill people. You can be totally corrupt. It doesn't matter anymore. So.
Yeah, you whistled, didn't you, when your mom died?
My brother called me. I was up in Canada. I was washing dishes in the kitchen. It was after dinner, and he called me to say that she just passed away. And that's really too bad. He just kind of described the moment, then he hung up, and then I went back to washing the dishes. And I looked up, and I was whistling, "Oh, What a Beautiful Morning," from Oklahoma. As I was washing the dishes.
Sad. That is sad.
Yeah. When I realized I was whistling after I just found out that my mom died, I realized that there was probably some issues that I had to deal with that.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So maybe I'll get around to dealing with them at some point.
You're dealing with them.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about it, so you deal with it if you're talking
I
about
guess
it.
so, yeah.
Wow.
Moving along.
Yes.
That got dark, didn't it?
Well, I want to talk about a moment that just broke the internet for the two of you. Halloween isn't the only October observance. To acknowledge your 15th anniversary of your appearance on the Today Show, somebody tweeted about the time you were being interviewed by Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda Kotb while being robbed live on television. You were promoting your TV show as well as your new books, and right as the cameras went up, so did the red flags.
Yeah.
Yep, live TV.
And people thought that we orchestrated that somehow to make
It was
some
the
kind
same
of,
people who said we're in foreclosure and bankruptcy, probably.
Probably
Anyway.
the same people. But so, we were standing backstage. We had walked downstairs.
Live.
It's live. We walked into the studio. We're standing backstage. And suddenly my phone began to vibrate. And I looked down and it was ADT. Now, normally.
Which is a security service if you're out of the country.
It's a big security. It's all over the country. But a lot of people know ADT. And I looked at it, I go, I'm about to walk. They're about to call us on live, but it's ADT.
And you're like, I got to take this.
I got to answer the call because we have stores and ADT. We could be being robbed. And sure enough, I answer the phone and the woman says, we're getting an alarm from your store as we speak. It's being robbed right now. And so then they called us on and they said, you're up.
And you were like, I'm so sorry.
I had to walk on stage with the phone up to my ear.
And you're talking to them while I'm like, doing a soft shoe.
We got out there and Hoda said, so you're on the phone? I said, yeah, we're getting robbed as we speak. And ADT was supposed to have called the police, and they didn't call the police, and it became a thing. And the head of ADT, I guess, was watching the show. Like the CEO of ADT was watching the show that morning and saw me talking about the fact that ADT, that the company should have had called the police but didn't. So now, as a result of that, we have ADT Gold service for the rest of our lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's my question. Was that the second time the store was robbed? I don't think it was the third.
Third time.
So just so the people know, we had a store called Belle Gray in the Valley, in San Fernando Valley, for 10 years, which is a long time to have a clothing business. And towards the end, is when they started
Yeah,
to
we
hit
started
it?
to get robbed. 2007, 2000.
Well, the first time we were robbed, we had that Christmas window with the big, huge TV that Heidi Blair had done like a video. And we
that's
had
right.
it playing in the window. And I remember we were in Mexico and we got the call that somebody had broken in, smashed the front window. And did they steal the TV? I don't remember.
I don't remember,
that
but
part.
I do know that we replaced the windows, and then they got smashed again.
That's right.
And then we replaced them with unbreakable glass. And so,
That's right.
which costs a fortune, but you could take,
A
you
baseball
could
bat.
basically shoot a bazooka
Yeah.
at it, and it would repel the
Yeah.
shell. So, yeah.
Well, I think it was the third time we were robbed that I said, you know what? I think maybe the universe is trying to tell us something, and maybe it's time for us to be done with this clothing business. And that's when we decided to.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
I mean, people stop shopping too.
Well,
I mean,
that
that's
was part of
really
it also, but,
I think the
like-
reason we ended that business is because of the downturn of 2008, 9, and 10,
Well,
which
yeah.
people stopped buying anything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
We went from doing $1,200 a square foot to doing $20 a square foot overnight. I mean, it was
Yeah, it was a curve of learning curve that was good for us, though, I think.
I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll take that as a positive.
I think it
Yeah.
was. We did it ourselves. We didn't have
Well, we were a
anybody.
mom and pop. Most of as a matter of fact, all of the clothing stores and other retail shops that survived that time had backers. They had people who were willing to,
Yeah.
stretch them through that moment in terms of the economy.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that because we were just mom and pop.
Yeah.
And it was like all of a sudden we were just writing checks every month to
Oh
keep
my
the
God.
store open. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that.
That was
No.
a rough moment. Moment. But anyway, that was the third. The third time was the charm.
And it was so funny that we got the call as we were going on live television, and I had to take the call. I
Well,
couldn't.
because we had been robbed twice already. So we were kind of like,
We were gun
always
shy.
on edge and gun shy when ADT would call.
That's right.
Yeah. It happened
Yeah.
a lot.
Do you want to talk about Lisa Loves Harry, the show that you were promoting at the time?
Oh, right. Harry Loves Lisa, which we wanted it to be I Love Lisa because we really wanted to do somewhat of a send-off of I Love Lucy. But it didn't really happen that way.
Well, there was a reason for that. I mean, we came up with the idea to do I Love Lisa, and basically leveraging some of the domestic challenges that we both
I
have.
have.
We both
but
have
certainly
domestic.
me. Yeah.
But we wanted to leverage that and make a funny send-up of reality TV, of a reality TV show about a couple.
Yeah.
And it was going to be called I Love Lisa, and it was going to be a comedy. But it just so happened that the network that bought it was called TV Land, and they were showing reruns of I Love Lucy. And they came back and they said, I'm sorry, you can't call the show I Love Lisa because the fans will get confused. And so they
They
changed
would
it.
not have. You're smarter than that, by the way.
Yeah, it was ridiculous to say that,
Yeah.
and we ended up calling it Harry Loves Lisa, and the premise was horrible, and it was like one season, it was like fuck
It
this,
sucked.
see
It
you
did.
later,
It
alligator.
sucked. It was scripted.
Yeah,
It was
nothing like
stupid.
what we wanted to do to begin with. you know?
Nothing.
But
I mean, it wasn't a horrible experience, but it wasn't what we wanted.
no,
And that happens in life. You take these risks, you do these things, and it just didn't materialize.
well,
like
nothing
we
ventured,
wanted.
nothing gained. Remember, no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
All kinds of little aphorisms like that, and but nothing ventured, nothing gained. I think is the big one because we are setting out on different ventures all the time. I mean, the next one's going to be this poop scoop thing, which it was another episode where we talked about the pooper scooper opportunity. But
Yeah.
we did see recently that there is a company out there you can call
In LA.
and they'll come to your house and they'll scoop up the dog
They'll
shit.
clean up all your dog shit.
Yeah, and maybe cat shit too, and maybe they'll get rid of rats. Who knows? But certainly, I never thought of being able to hire a pooper scooper person.
People that would come maybe daily
and
pick up
maybe
your poop.
maybe Elon will make some robots, some pooper scooper robots, and
Probably.
be able to get an electric pooper scooper that looks like a humanoid and comes out every morning and first gets your coffee for you and maybe lights your cigarette, maybe wipes your butt, and then goes out and
Gets the poop.
gets the dog shit off the lawn. Yeah.
I personally think it's quite humbling and grounding to be a poop scooper in your own home.
You're good at it. By the way, today I walked out. I'm not joking.
Not good
no,
at
I
it?
am not joking. Today, you walked before we came down here to do this. You walked out on the lawn and you grabbed that pooper scooper, and you were wearing sort of a long flowing robe thing this morning.
That's my cashmere robe.
Cashmere robe,
by the way.
Yeah.
Cashmere.
So
Picture me.
gotta
I'm
be
in my cashmere robe.
And you've got your pooper scoopers,
got my
and the sweep of your hand as you went up, and you brought that pooper scooper down, and you scooped up that poop, and it was delightful.
Well, thank
I
you.
mean, it was
Harry.
really,
I
it was
had no
like
idea my skills have, come to this
it
level.
was so fluid. I mean, if you had that to music, it would have been an extraordinary moment. You were good at it. I got to tell you,
Glad
you were really
to
good
hear
at
that. And wow, I had no idea. Well, I did have to move. We have different size poop scoopers at the house, and I ordered one, and it's so large that it's daunting.
That's for buffalo poop.
It is literally, okay, you guys, it is like
It's a foot wide.
It's this big, and then you've got the scoop thing, and it's just a little too much for an everyday poop scoop.
I wonder what kind of dog that was made for.
It's the large one.
An Irish wolfhound, maybe? Or
I don't know.
What's
big.
the biggest dog you can get? Is like a Saint Bernard or something? Or?
Like a Great Dane or a Saint
And
Bernard.
they have
or
like
those
5 pounds of shit?
Newfoundlands.
Whatever it is, that scooper is the biggest scooper
It's
I've ever
huge.
seen. Yeah.
So it makes me a slight bit nervous, so I moved that down to another part.
Well, I got to tell you, the scooper you're working with today
That's
is
a good
just
one.
perfect
That's
for you.
the right one for me.
Perfect scooper.
That's why I have it there, because your scoops have to be close by, because the problem was we only had one. And so what if you go down to the other part we have nice big property, so you go down to the other part, you have to go back up and get that poop scoop, take it all the way down. No, you have to have one there, and then I move the big one down to the past 40 down there.
Well, whether you're doing it in up near the house or down by the back 40, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
I'm so glad to hear that. Well, then we know that I have another level of work if I need to do that.
And if,
I could call that company and see if they need another pooper scooper.
Well, I mean, if you were to wear the right, to go into your closet and find the
Put
right
out
outfit.
some of my gems, some of my Prada out there in
Some
my
of-
Prada.
or some Alaya. How streamlined would that be? Your pooper scooper sweeping it up in the air and then down. Just poop that scoop right up. That's good.
I'm sorry, you guys, that we go down these tangents and we can't get out, but that's just what happens. And hopefully you think it's funny, because it's stupid beyond, but it's sort of funny. You got a real kick out of it, because the picturing of me getting poop, and I'm good at it. Don't you love that? You love talking
But you
about
are good at it. You're an expert.
I like a clean lawn. I want to be able to go. Everyone has seen, not everyone, but a lot of people have seen our backyard. They see our lawn. I've done lawn stories for years about when the lawn looks terrible. I've never done lawn poop stories, but clearly I could.
You've done gopher stories. A lot of gopher stories.
A lot of gopher stories, which, by the way, is still happening.
I know there are 3 spots where the Gophers are making an appearance, and I haven't been able to get them.
No,
And
it's a tricky situation.
it's a tricky situation. But, the gopher snakes are probably still out now. In the wintertime, the gopher snakes go dormant, and that's when all the gophers come out.
When they're here.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing that, but I don't deal with that. I only deal with the poop.
Okay.
And
you're
the
good at it.
bird feeder, we have a bird bath that I need to have that filled all the time. That's something that I feel not right about if it's empty. I went out there today. It was, the water goes quick. I don't know why it does in that. And so
It
I make sure
evaporates.
it evaporates.
The sun comes out.
Well,
and it
why?
gets, because the sun is hot and it warms up the water, and the water
Well, it goes
evaporates out
very
of the.
quick. So I have to go fill it, because my birds like to have a bird bath. I have birds out there. I'm thinking about getting a feeder too.
So you use the first person. You said, I have birds out there.
Well,
These are your birds?
I feel like they could be yours too, but
Oh.
in talking about them right now, the birds, we can call them the birds.
birds.
There's like
My
4
birds are the birds.
birds that live out there. They're woodpeckers. The black and white ones are
Do
those
the woodpeckers
woodpeckers?
go in the bird bath?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they literally take a bath in there. They rely on it. So I feel like it needs to be full all the time.
Because otherwise we'll have some really stinky woodpeckers.
Well, I don't know. Those are the things I take care of out there. That's about it.
That's true. You do take care of the bird.
Water,
man.
poop.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good place.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh my God, we did it. Go buy these hats. They're probably going to be on the Dear Media website or something.
I didn't bring my glasses today. So what does it say?
Don't
it says, hustle the hustler.
hustler. And the other ones own it. And we're working on bucket hats. So if you know of a good company that makes good quality bucket hats, call in, leave a voicemail, and we'll get on it. Because we got to have bucket hats, right? Got to.
From your lips to God's ear.
That's right.
We've got to have bucket hats.
Because people need to consume, honey.
Yeah, because without consumption, the capitalism dies,
Exactly.
the whole civilization goes away.
Exactly.
Imagine if we were all like Buddhists and we hadn't have desire for anything, the economy would shrivel up and we'd be, living in grass huts again.
So I feel it's my duty to save the world.
Okay.
My shopping is duty for me to save the world. So I feel good about that.
It's true. You're saving civilization.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you so much,
See you next
everybody,
time.
for checking in one more time. Let's not talk about the husband.